Good evening from here, and also good morning, good afternoon to everyone in different parts of this stage. The topic is a new one, at least for me. And we send this, reminder retreat starting soon. And the title, Death and Immortality, I realized you would be receiving Death and Immortality starting soon. And it's somehow the word I could sense in the culture, it's rather inauspicious to use this word in ordinary life because of the fear and maybe mystery also. It's always interesting to get the quotes because it gives different energy from culture. One is from the well-quoted Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, and he said, "It's not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Similarly, Mark Twain wrote some thoughts, but one that is quite amusing. He said he does not fear death. "I was dead before I was born and had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it." One philosophy. So the immortality part is the where everything comes together. So it will be interesting to hear the sharings and your thoughts. But first, let's hand over to Brother Prashant. Good evening.
Hello, and thank you. Yeah, so nice. This Mark Twain, he says, I died many times before, or before I was born, I was obviously dead. And so now I'm here, it did not create slightest inconvenience to me, because I was dead before. So today we'll start with immortality, and we'll come to that experience. Then we'll have more strength to address the subject of death. The first thing for us in any time, our checking is, am I using the best instrument? Am I using the best apparatus? And for us, the instrument is the intellect. All chaos is created just because we are using the wrong instrument. That is all. So with this, we are clearly able to see the way God sees. Until then, we are seeing things the way Ravan sees. We don't have a lot of choice, either Ram or Ravan. So one is knowing Ram, but is being able to see the way he sees. And what he sees that at a physical level, there is a film that is going to be repeated again. It is a big screen, lots going on, amazing film, but it's a film. And there is a story within it. It is not our story, it is not my story, it's a story. And we have a world beyond that film and beyond that story. Now we have the sight to see it. That changes the game completely. Not only we are able to see this dimension, which is our world, but we are able to see ourselves. And when we are seeing this true self, giving the chance for him to become conscious, until then, he fully ignored. The true self is completely ignored. That is Ravan's big success. Now the true self is conscious, and true self understands his world is safe, and story cannot harm anything. Not even the slightest harm can come to him or to anyone. Understands his world is eternal and everyone is immortal. No harm that changes the personality. He is not into defense mode anymore. Once he understands, nothing can harm him, even the slightest. Not just human beings, nor matter, nor anything. Even God cannot harm him. And so also everyone else. Just this awareness, it becomes the foundation for deep contentment. That beggar and the victim personalities, they disappear. Everyone is good, everyone is safe. And the world is safe. Silent joy, silent contentment, silent respect for everyone, because they all are immortal and they all are noble. Anyone who is immortal are their personality is different. They are divine beings. All are divine. No trace of demon. The origin of demon is from mortality, fear of some harm, just a fear of loss and harm and death. The whole department of the demon starts. Invisible soul is the invisible player, is also the invisible prince. His life is with God. He knows he is very, very lucky. To begin with, he is in truth. He is not in the story, he is in the real world. Truth. He is immortal, his world is eternal and beyond harm. His life is with God, worthy to belong to God, loved by God. And this is an eternal reality of everyone. We are just seeing it, that's all. It has always been like this. Worthy to be loved by God, worthy to belong to God, worthy to have company of God. He is right there. As was said, just use the right instrument and you are experiencing this biggest prize. And that too, it is eternal prize. There is no reason for any other feeling than happiness. Happiness and love. All are divine and worthy, harmless, childlike. Such is this world. They all are childlike and godlike. They can be in this state of silent respect, silent love, and no one is an outsider. Everyone belongs here. Humans and beyond, all are from the same world. All those who are living belong to this family. Heart is big. They are worthy. If we can't love, that is individual limitation. Everyone is worthy. And just as we are experiencing this, true self, the invisible prince, is seeing this. He is creating light in this dimension. He is making it easy for others to experience it. This is what the lighthouse is, and this is what the service through mind is, and this is the true service. Global. It is not limited to one area. It is all round. As we continue on our journey, we remain aware. This is an eternal prize, the timeless truth. So as we continue on our journey in the sky or on earth, we remain conscious of this eternal truth, the world of immortality, and eternal bond with the Father family. We come in this physical world, in the story world. The invisible player, he remains the invisible player. He never becomes Mr. Harry. He remains the observer of the story. He remains the invisibly incarnate, separate, distinct, independent. He never becomes Mr. Harry. Just because we come in the drama doesn't mean we have to straight away jump into the bodily image. And that drama is not our drama. It is not our story. We are loosely associated with that part and the whole thing. Thank you. Thank you. Recently, we had a discussion, and in the Murlis, the reference, the battle. When we are in a battle, this is incognito battle. We are still addressing the subject of immortality. So this is a important area connected with the subject of immortality. What is important in a battle? If you are on a battlefield and this is a big war that is going on, what is very important in a battle? Especially if you are going there to win. What do you need?
You need strategy, you need awareness, weapons, good strategy at that. Yeah, strategy is doing well. You need powers like determination, and here you need soul consciousness and courage and an aim or target.
Very good. Excellent.
To know the enemy is an added thing and a goal.
Sure. Along with that, in any war or in a game, sport, you need to know the crease. You see if there is a cricket player, batsman, he will see where the crease is. Otherwise, he will get stumped. And so also in the war, you need to know which side you're fighting. You're a warrior, you've got weapons. So are you fighting with yourselves, your own army, or full speed with full enthusiasm you are in the battle? But are you fighting in the right direction? So where is the crease here? What is it? When do you cross the line and work for the enemy? That is possible in this war. You could be working for the enemy also. So how do you know when you are working for yourselves, for Ram, and when you are working for the Ravan? In the name of war, you could be working for Ravan also. Not to rule this out. So what is the crease? How do you know when you are on the right side?
Some type truth, discernment.
Sure.
Openness.
Yes.
And to add no influence and detachment from the outcome.
Sure. Sometimes these sketches help us to grasp, and because the ideas are so abstract. Our whole this battle is incognito, but it is abstract also. So here is the battleground is here in the physical world we come. And the enemy here is Mr. Ravan, that he is the enemy. We are all familiar with what we are writing here. So that blue square that is rectangle that is shown, that is the physical world. Ravana exists. The moment, when does Ravan's department starts? Ravan's birth starts when? When do we cross that line? When does the Ravan's birth? Whole department of Ravan. We start losing from what moment?
The moment we create an attachment, we get attached, create dependency, that will be the moment, Ravan's birth. When we identify with this story, when we cross the line. Do you mean when in the cycle?
No, and I say even now, when do we create?
When you cross the boundary, when we forget the self, or we feel discontentment or sorrow.
Yeah, all of these, all answers are right, and we need to look at this also. But in this case, to see one angle to see, the moment this story world that we see here appears to be worth more than a penny, the moment you give value to this story world, you have crossed a line already. Ravan, that's exactly what Ravan wants. And then I am giving it beauty, I am seeing relations within it, and there is love. And if you are sitting, composing songs and singing songs, then it is a deep end of Ravan. So this spiral that we are often talking about, this spiral, to cross that line is moment it disappears. This fictional world, which is to disappear in front of our eyes any moment, just like slides, they come and they go. And we think it has value and it is important, and you invest into it. And this is all, but you feel it is more than a penny, worth more than a penny. And then you start thinking that is you, that is a big area, Ravan's big departments. Mine within that, that is big departments. But first beginning is you say, this is, you're impressed. So if we are to fight a war here, first we need to know the line. What is this position? Position is the invisible incarnate who knows this is not his world at all. He has got nothing to do with this world. Invisible incarnate. It is not Prashant who is in this battle. Invisible incarnate. He has come here in this cartoon world. That is the way he sees. It's a film, but for him it is a cartoon film. And he doesn't say his uncle and aunties and friends are within that cartoon. No, there are different characters, Mickey, monkey characters within that cartoon. But he also knows his very dear brothers are visiting that cartoon. They are associated with all these different characters. Very dear brothers. They are invisible brothers. And they are the ones who have to be freed from this sticky web. They have to be revived. And that's why he has come. Then he's on the right side of the line. He has not come here for Christmas, waiting for the, what else? Birthday cake. That is not the reason he has come here. We are talking here all along the attitude of the invisible incarnate. First is he conscious? Then we are in the game. If we are seeing from Mr. Harry, then he's at a deep end on the other side. He has crossed a line already. And then, is he really fighting the war? What kind of war is he fighting? Without knowing the crease, you can't be the winner. Inner position is this, invisible incarnate. At this moment, he is awake, he is conscious, he knows of his mission. And you call it mission, it's a war also, because ego is all the time waiting for this invisible incarnate to be unconscious. That is what ego wants. And then ego can parade that he's working for Ram kind of thing. But game is lost. It is ego based. Ego is not fighting against Ravan. Ego itself is Ravan. If the invisible incarnate is conscious, then he's in the game. During those seconds, minutes, he's in the game. But he's also winning. Just by being conscious, he's winning. It is guaranteed. He is helping others win. And if they win, they know they are immortal, and they know they are princes, and they know that extraordinary truth that exists. They are princes. They are what we said, biggest prize. They are the ones. There's a prize for everyone, but they need to be conscious. So this is the craze. Nice. We will have this attitude. We said over the rest of the day. Let us have this awareness that this immortal, invisible player is visiting this story world, is visiting this physical world. He is independent. We during this time see him. He is like a invisible observer. Just he remaining conscious, that is a big success. He is conscious, then he's creating light. He is a winner. If he is not conscious, that is exactly what Ravan wants. And then ego is conscious. During next second, ego can be conscious. Now let us come to the subject of death. In all cultures, all over the world, and a huge tendency in people not even to talk about death. They would rather ignore the subject of death. And that creates lots of inconvenience and problems to themselves and to others. Because they ignored it, the more complications come. Even in the health area, because there is fear of death, it is possible in some communities, they don't want to go to the doctor. It is like inauspicious to hear that it is something serious. They don't even want to go to the doctor. And something that could be cured early on, it is postponed and postponed until it is too far. Same pattern that is seen in different other areas. They don't do the will, they don't think about what should be done, organize, because they just want to block it. And they think they have solved it by blocking it. Those who address that beforehand, like Brahmins are the ones who have different understanding, knowledge, but even in cultures and individuals who address this subject. And there are some cultures, priests, who may discuss it openly with people. They are better off. They solve their situations better. They have addressed it better, and less complications. Why is there fear of death? What is going on there? Why people don't want to know about death? And it is seen as something that is bad. What is happening there? Who dies?
Illusions, they die. And the reason why is the fear of the end,
Yeah,
which
the,
needs
the whole thing. What is it that people are worried about?
the
What is
role.
happening with death?
The role ends, the body dies. The unknown, fear of the unknown. And having attachment, so the fear comes at being attached to the role. We lose continuity, the physical pain. We identify with the body and we leave the family alone. We leave them. Only the body dies, but they fear that they will be no more. Fear
Right.
to losing our possessions and our masks, relationships, body.
Excellent. Now our life is like this, there is the soul. Soul in essence is the experiencer. And how do we understand who is this, where we are? Wherever there is experience, that is where the soul is. Life is another, life force, like Dadi Gulzar going into trance. Body is breathing here. Body is, life is here. But the soul is not here. Soul is experiencing something else. That wherever the experience is, that is where the soul is. So soul is the experiencer. And nice way to see that we are going through experience. And every experience has a beginning and an end. Some experience starts, say music starts. That is the law of every experience. Someone comes, I see him, that comes to an end. So all kinds of different experiences come. Such is the nature of experience. But different experience starts. One experience ends, other starts. Now, when we are into confusion, when we cross the line, it is, the whole thing is confusion. We don't know even who we are. What is meant as an experience, we start claiming things within it. And so the problem starts. Now with this, the reason for sorrow, even the experience comes to an end and I may be even attached, it doesn't create a huge problem. Music stops. Okay, music stops. I might be planning something else next. I like the music, but it doesn't become like a death. Why this death is a huge problem in the society? The real reason behind this is our intellect, narrow intellect, stone intellect. That is the real reason behind this. I'll tell you a story. Maybe this is a real life experience. One girl, a lady here in Cambridge, she tells mother, she tells the experience of her boy. Name of the boy is Spin. He goes, she takes him to his friend once a week. Spin enjoys to be with the friend. When it is time to go home, he doesn't want to go home. He starts crying, time to go home. And then with all kinds of, she has to take him home. And then he cries in her words, he cries for the rest 8 hours. He has a great time for 1 hour. He cries for 8 hours. And this happens every week. And she says, is it worth going there? I want to give him a good time. And that's why I want to take him there. But there's more crying than happiness. What is happening there? Why he cries? What is happening? Attachment, okay, but mother is also there. Why attachment? Why he ends up creating attachment?
Body consciousness, bondages. Why bondages? He doesn't want the happy experience to end. Attached to
Why?
the friend.
Mother is also there. Mother was also happy there. And she doesn't cry.
He didn't fully understand he would not come back. And he cannot see the future exit. Moments are so good, he doesn't want them to finish. He loses sight of who he is, where he is from, his home. It was influenced, wants to continue enjoying the same experience.
Yeah, what happens, with the children, their concept of time is different. They cannot see future that clearly. So he goes there, and mother might have told him, and we are there for 1 hour, or we are. But for him, 1 hour is he can't see the end of it. And it is like a long, long time. And if you can't see the end of it, he goes there and he can't see the end of this. He can't see the exit. Then subconsciously for him, he's going to be there forever. And if I am going to be there forever, then he gives himself permission to cross that line, dotted line. Mother is also there, but mother knows I'm going to come out of this, and then she got other appointments, and she also enjoys to be with a friend, and she's happy to come back to live because she has not crossed the line. So that is the story with spin. And so once you cross the line, what is that? This sorrow is senseless. He cries. He cries for 8 hours. He cries to be even to come out of the house. He's crying. He doesn't want to. He fights. And then he comes home crying also. It is unnecessary and senseless. Sorrow. It doesn't lead anywhere. Now let us see our adults, all these, very sensible, intelligent human beings of the Iron Age. What is happening? We are not like spin. We can see 1 hour, 4 hours, 4 days, 4 weeks, but the death, the exit is not addressed properly. We don't see the exit. And if we do not see the exit, subconsciously, we think we are here forever. Very fact that we cross the line and go into such a level of bondage in this foreign world, it is because we are like spin. We have not seen the exit clearly. We don't address it properly. And we feel justified to claim this, and as if we settle down. We even use the language, so and so, I'm so happy they are settled, I'm settled. settled in where? In this story world, and so we are deceived, just like spin got deceived, and if you are deceived, there will be sorrow. And so suddenly this exit comes. Just like spin, he has to leave, there is an exit. And he says, no, they even use this language. I fight this illness, I will fight this. So they are fighting. And the whole effort that goes, it is futile. The sorrow is unnecessary and senseless. Otherwise, all that is happening here is he is eternal prince, and he has his world. He is very lucky. He has always been lucky. He is loved by his family, father, is worthy of love. It is a divine reality. He is ignoring all that, and he is crying for this foreign world, some crumbs, trying to cling to this. He says fear of the unknown. That's why we use the language stone intellect. Stone intellect includes narrow intellect, gross intellect. So you can't see far enough. And you can't see far, then you can't see your own exit. As a student of Raj Yoga, this is like a necessary training for us. Baba uses this language. Baba, we hear this language, die a living death. And Baba reminds us of the end of this civilization. Baba wants us to spin the cycle. All of these things make you stretch the intellect. There is a birth, death, there is many births. We have gone through this different. You are just spinning the cycle once even. We are not used to thinking this way. Beyond this one life even. We never thought of this. People are caught into some kind of pettiness. Their next holiday, that is the maximum they can think of. Or sometimes some small things, what happened in the story. We all got this subtle intellect, and we got unlimited intellect. Paras, that word paras includes all this. And more we use it, it becomes stronger. Game is like this. And then your game is totally different. We saw that difference between how mother addresses the situation and how spin is affected one way. Mother, she's happy to go, and she's not tolerating, she's not putting up, she's happy. She's going back home. It's nice to be back home. This is something which cannot be done last minute. Some people may say, someone is leaving the body, priest comes and priest starts reading the scriptures or something like this. This change cannot happen in that sort of way. To bring about this change and to come out of the spiral, the work has to be done. One of our practices spiritual practice. It is done in other traditions also. Think of your own death. What is if I was to die this minute, what will be the experience? This kind of practice. Shavasana is one of the yogi practices, physical hatha yoga. There's one asana called corpse posture, Shavasana, where you experience being dead, for a few minutes. And these are good, for our, as we are seeing here, no one dies. We all are immortal. More we hide this exit, we become like spin. And then that senselessness and unnecessary sorrow that follows. More we address this, you solve it for good. You realize there is no death, and then you enjoy coming. You enjoy, happy to live, happy to be in your home, happy to be in this foreign land. You are happy to take on a mission. We said a mission of the invisible incarnate. It's great. Let us do that mission. But there is no reason for sorrow. It will be nice to hear some thoughts from you.
I wonder if each culture has its peculiar way to cope. And someone wrote in the chat, the Western tendency, and it was very interesting, and this anti-aging culture and escapism, but also our entertainment, it creates like a spectacle around death. It's more like a detached concept and very hidden away in, the medical institutions. And we're kept busy with productivity. It's very counterculture to not just plan like the usual thing with will, but to go through the process. But as it's backed by the realization that it's not the end of the experiencer, but still to really see the process. Often people say it's not the actual death idea, meaning end of the role, because actually there's no inverted comma death, but it's the pain around the process. So any thoughts on this? Because that is a common question or comment.
Sure. It is nice, once we first establish that we ourselves are immortal and beyond harm, then once we have addressed that, then we have to deal with our journey here. In this physical level, we deal with the journey. And I like the image someone gave. She's playing a computer game, and in the computer game, there are deliberately placed challenges. Computer game is game only because there are some challenges, and you think of how to solve these challenges. But you are playing a game. You solve it, and sometimes you may not solve it straight away. You solve it next day, but it is fun. And more you solve it, you get points, and you get score. You score it. So that is the way you are dealing with it. Same here also. Once you know you are safe, and everyone is safe, and everyone is good, and truth is good. Once you have addressed that, now let us play this game. And everything is temporary there. That obstacle that is there, that is also temporary. and challenge is also temporary. I have to score, how to deal with this, solve this situation. You are dealing with it from that higher consciousness. It is not spin trying to solve it, but it is the mature, higher angel solving it. You are doing it whilst not forgetting your mission. Even in that situation, you are nothing stops you from your mission. That is your primary mission. That is why you are here, but you are also playing the game also in whilst. This is all along, not just the last process, but now there will be some situations will come, who knows what will may happen to, next minute, there can be storm, rain, small situations, and the behaviors of human beings. We deal with it. It's part of the computer game. But bottom line is everything is okay. With that understanding, you are playing the game. One nice saying, some culture, they're saying, no storm lasts forever. So also here, broadly, he knows things come, but nothing is going to last forever. Then it is going to change. Every experience changes. It comes to an end. Something new starts. Just by having that attitude itself, you solve it actually. If that mission is not there, if one has no mission, your yoga is all the time with some small thing. That situation has passed even, but your yoga is still there with that. Why it happened? Why there's someone did something? But if you got a full mission, then you don't have time for going into petty things. It is finished, gone. Let us move on.
For me also, the word continuity, it's like as if one of the needs connected in a way, it's the same thing, but we get into the delusion of continuity in this discontinuous world, and the big one is around the role. Question here. By instinct, every species wants to survive. Therefore, we become afraid. How to overcome this?
You understood the question?
It's like the instinct is to survive, and how do we overcome that basic instinct as if it's inbuilt in all creatures?
Yeah. As we are saying here, we solve it by coming behind the line. And when we come behind the line, we discover we survive. We are eternally alive. And then you have addressed it. And the game changes completely. The moment you have addressed it, then you are not a beggar anymore. You are not a victim, never a victim. Situations will come in the computer game of all kinds, but you are never a victim and never a beggar. If we are on the other side of the line, even if you are in the middle of some celebration and a party, but you are all the time seeing yourself as a victim and a beggar. Ego will be like that. What we are underlining here is first putting ourselves in this, come back to to that perspective of the invisible incarnate. The invisible incarnate is dealing with this whole game. And then we can see more clearly also what is happening in the game of journey, life, death. Okay, one question for you, before the break, and maybe it will give you some insight to discuss during the break also. The question, is there any question for us? Yeah? Any question?
Yes, but if you want them now or later.
Yeah, we'll take one question and then I will ask a question.
Okay. How can we best support someone who is actively dying?
Sure. And the highest thing we can do to anyone is take them out of the spin mindset to his mother's mindset. That is the shift. That is the highest thing we can do to anyone. Now, spin would have been a better prepared if the mother was to tell him, impress upon him very clearly that there is an exit. We are there for a very short time, just visiting. We are going to come out and we are going to come back home. Get it across to the mother, to the child very clearly. We are not going to stay there, just going there for a short time, 5 minutes, and we are going to come out. For him, the language of 5 minutes will work. If we were to tell him 1 hour, it won't work. So it is worth using something like that. And he is better prepared. He doesn't cross the line. Then he will deal with the situation better. Because once if he has not crossed the line, he can deal with it better. That is what Baba does to us. Baba tells us that destruction is imminent. If Baba was to tell destruction was to come after some years, then we feel it is not relevant to us. We got long time. I said destruction is imminent, and we will be very clever to remind us of this. Time is very short, because that is the language that works for us, and we remain connected to our world. We don't cross the line. We still continue with life. Life continues, but internally we are aware that this is not our world. We remain connected to our own exit. And same thing applies to anyone, or everyone. If you love anyone, we don't have to wait until it is very late, but prepare them. Tell them time is short for everyone. This is not our world, and we got our home. Whether they agree with it, don't agree with it, it is good for them to hear this. Some 1% even it goes in, that is healthier. But having said that, if there is anything else, whatever that is happening in the world, what they are doing, that is palliative, like one is management and one is addressing the real cause. So we all know how to address the situation of sorrow that is there, fear that is there. We have to address it. But we also have the option to deal with, to be victorious over that and make others victorious. Now a question from here. If your doctor tells you got 1 hour to live, what will you do during that hour?
Apart from find another doctor.
Let us say not 1 hour. If a doctor tells you you got 1 month to live, a bit longer time. What will you do during that 1 month?
After getting another opinion, probably. Yeah. Okay. Meditate, spend time with family, get the paperwork in place.
Spend time with family. Why? What is your reason for spending time with the family?
Sure, come back for other responses. Put my things in order and meditate. Similar. Connect with Baba. Connect with the higher consciousness. Don't change anything. Another angle. Settle accounts. Don't know which accounts. Maybe all levels. Happy. So with the family, the reason would be to talk about immortality, not to be scared. So kind of help them through the process as well, maybe. Interesting. Time of learning, isn't it? Play my role even better than before. Funeral is for those left behind, so this would be the thought. Acknowledging that it could be any moment and looking forward to what's next. Being in the awareness, soul is eternal.
Sure. One person said, he will change the doctor. That is the first step, and what Sarah said, take a second opinion first. But another person, I'll tell you one joke. One member of parliament here in England, he said, if doctor was to tell him he has got 1 hour to live, he will listen to the speech by Gordon Brown, one politician. Yeah, it will make him feel that 1 hour to be a long, long time. So these are some of the ways to deal with this time. So that 1 month appears to be a long, long time. You can listen to some speeches by some politicians, maybe. But when we are dealing, this may be a good area for all of us as a homework. Repeatedly come back to this area. For us, this is auspicious. We don't see this thinking of death is bad. We understand this helps us conquer that. We are not hiding it. With stone intellect, they hide it as if they solved it by not going there. Those with paras, we see it and then we win over. It's like literally conquer that. And for this, take this area. If there is 1 month left, what is the way to do this? If we have written word here, invisible incarnate. That invisible incarnate is forever, because we got a duty for all the souls of the world. It is not just few people spend time with the family, just few. Our duty is for all the souls. Take on this big, big goal, and if you position yourselves that way, within that is, everyone wins. You win, everyone wins. Your time is fully used, and you are incarnate. That body is not yours. It is God's body, Baba's body. Whatever is Baba's responsibility also. You are carefree all along. Another aspect connected with this, Steve Jobs, he mentions about this in one of his speeches. He says every day when he would look in the mirror, Steve Jobs, every day when he would look in the mirror, he would remind himself, today may be his last day. And just reminding that there is an exit. And he says he practiced this for more than 30 years. It is also very interesting to see his creative life is during those 30 years or 32 years that he speaks of. These are the period of his creative life. Because moment you are coming on the right side of the line, you are coming in that space, you are secure and you are more creative. For him, even those few minutes made a difference, but sustained every day he would do this. It is very effective, very powerful. It is another way, that uh, helps restrain Ravan. We said you cross the line, Ravan comes. We are not talking anything to be compared with Brahmin efforts, but it is a nice practice. And so also for us to play with this from time to time, maybe every day, that today may be the last day. And the moment you remind yourself of the exit today, you feel, what am I doing by crossing this line, by claiming things, and what is it for? And that you are more connected to Ram. You are able to see the way Ram sees. The moment I don't see the exit, I cross the line. And then I'm seeing the way Ravan sees. And I have crossed the line. The battleground had changed. And then the game changes and quality of life changes. Karma change. Excellent. It will be happy to hear some thoughts from others. And then time for a break also.
Some comments that the knowledge, this immortality, takes away the fear of death, and many would take benefit from at least exposure to the model. When we change our reality and experience we are souls, and with soul never dies, this answer. Someone has shared what has helped them regarding the fear of the unknown during the death process is educating themselves about what actually happens to the body during the final moments on a webinar. So you're just aware, then it's like forearmed is, what is it, the expression? Forewarned, you're forearmed. It's just a bit more clarity on the physical side. Comment, in the game, we tend to have aims and aspirations. We want to achieve things. And so then there's disappointment when the time is up. So that's maybe the programming for many of us, ordinarily. One question maybe, why don't people talk about the dying of the body? Why is it?
As was said, a stone intellect way of addressing the the situation is not go there. They think by not talking about it, they have solved it. That is stone intellect answers. Other answer of stone intellect, they build statues. Or some might think, everyone wants to be immortal. They try to solve it in these different ways. Some say they will continue through children, and that is their way of thinking that they will remain immortal that way. Or their work, or their some names somewhere, that way they will be immortal. These are all stone intellect solutions. We have the option to discover our immortality rather than building statues. One of the reasons to have children, it is coming from the same space. They want to be immortal, and they think that they will be immortal this way. Children, grandchildren, then they feel something is going to survive. It is me that is going to survive. But the line gets crossed, because these are Ravan's solutions, Ravan's answers. Line get crossed, and then it is a senseless life and solutions, and unnecessary sorrow that comes. The spin is a very good example of this. That is exactly what happens with our lives. Excellent. We'll have the rooms.
Yes, and what would be the question you'd like to pose?
What is the best way to prepare for the death?
And maybe what is your experience of immortality or something? Yoga experiences, reflections and experiences, maybe. Just to not just have it about death. Okay, so we're just putting that question in the chat for just maybe to begin the conversation, and just a reminder, if you're in the room, just to give space for others, including the coordinators, to help others to share first. And we'll be meeting back in maybe just over 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. It's great, a few moments of this invisible incarnate perspective. such a topic that it's bringing a feeling of like such an experience of the essence. This big gratitude for this collective focus. I would like to invite Sanjay to share a few thoughts. Good evening.
Om Shanti and good evening. Few thoughts that came up in our discussion was we are a guest here anyway, so just to know that we have a home and sometime, someday we'll have to leave and go back home. Another thought was anyway, immortality is guaranteed, so why not enjoy the time whilst these sins are going to end, and think about the coming scenes with a new costume, maybe in the role of James Bond, or just stay curious about what is coming to be. Because this certainty about living forever beyond any harm gives the permission to enjoy and really play that game like in a PlayStation when you fall and come, and enjoy, no harm is done. So this is a perspective that this one keeps keeping, just to stay light and have fun no matter what. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much. Hearing each one sharing, and was able to join a couple of rooms, I somehow found it like deeply moving, because many have got like some really interesting experiences, personal, and it gave me the thought to even write them down. We can compile them, because it like such a learning. It really helps to almost in a means of a story, because we're all living through this story with such an obvious aspect of exit. But somehow these, to bring it forward, not to wait until we are later in the years, and of course we have to face it, but it's very joyful to hear and very moving. Thank you. So yeah, do feel free to send any stories and we can compile them. Vishant would like to add something? I could read a short passage. We have just a short passage from an Avyak Murli Bapdada speaking on the 18th of the 6th, 69. And it's a concept of to die and become alive. And it gets translated as to die a living death. But as long as we understand that something dies, and therefore something else comes alive. So I'll just read a few lines from Avyak Bapdada. To die a living death means to be dead to your body, your friends and relations, and the old world whilst alive. Have you made this first lesson firm? When someone dies, his past sanskaras also finish. So here also, why should you remember your past sanskaras? Since it is another birth, all the things of the past should have finished. This is the first lesson in dying living death. You must make this firm. Your past old sanskaras should appear as though they were the sanskaras of someone else and not your own. Thank you. A few words. Prashant would like to continue. Thank you.
Just a few thoughts on what was read just now. We hear this expression, die a living death. And Dadi Janki used to say that is the most useful thing for her, dying a living death. She likes to hear that. And in our practice, it is a shortcut also. Now let us say there is Mr. Sklodowska, and I'm coming back to the whiteboard. Mr. Sklodowska, just some random name. He dies. And now he's reborn, in a different place. And in a different place he is born as, his name is Chris. His name. Sklodowska is dead. And Chris is taken back to the place where Mr. Sklodowska was buried. He's shown, this was your house, this was, these are your bones, and this is your, what. He might even understand that was his place, but he least want to go to there anymore. He doesn't want to see even those bones and what that was gone. He's dead. Now it is a different life. Now here Baba wants us to die, go through that process of dying. So here is Prashant. Then there is a soul. Dying a living death literally means you go through the process of dying. When Mr. Sklodowska died, there was a soul, and soul moves away, and definitely he is now not the father of someone or brother of someone. They all have to go through the process of losing him. They have to go through the bereavement process. Someone has lost a brother, someone has lost a son, someone has lost something. Mr. Sklodowska is gone. Soul remains, soul continues, and soul continues as Chris. Here, a thought experiment. Prashant dies. This is a thought experiment. Soul exists, and Prashant dies. It also means, he is not going to be the son, father, brother. It is all that part finished. And others also have to go through the process of bereavement. They also lose their brother and friend. The soul continues. And now Baba says to the soul, you go back again. Go back in the same setup, same body, same family, same job, same setup. That's why there is a death and there is a living. It is not just, Baba doesn't say just die living death. So you die and then you are coming back to life again. So you are going back in that. What's the difference? You come back. What's the difference now? And why has Baba sent you back? Before the body is taken into crematorium, Baba said, go back. Go back in that same body again.
Come back with full soul consciousness, or the option.
Mm-hmm.
And then why is that helpful? You come back to finish karmic obligations.
Karmic obligations finished with the death of Sklodowska.
That is what actually finishes it, isn't it? Is the attitude. Service here is not finished. Come back as the incarnate to save others. And
That's
no,
nice.
it's not scary to come back.
Yeah. So it is like it helps us to go for the fast track and the easy effort. So earlier, that was a life going on, the role going on, but Ravan was hanging also. There was me, my. It is all mixed in that story, and there was I around Prashant also. So now, once you go through this thought experiment, Prashant is dead, just soul exists. And with that, all the other, the Ravan's department also finish. We are getting this chance to finish this Ravan's department. And now the soul is sent there by Baba as an incarnate for a very clear task. That is why the soul is sent back. So he is there as in the body, means he knows beforehand others have lost the brother. He doesn't say, I am the brother. No, they have lost a brother. Someone has lost the son. Someone has lost a friend. It is all gone. But now they are finding the angel. You don't have to make the announcement of the angel. But if God is sending the angel. And his task is to help the souls there. Earlier it was Ravan relationships, Ravan interactions. Soul was not even in the picture. It was not in the equation, soul. Now the invisible soul is going there as an invisible incarnate for a very clear task to free the souls from that web. He is going there as a friend of the soul. And is happy to use the body, and just like Baba takes support of the body, in the same way, he is happy to take support of the body, take care of the body, give the body what it needs, but internally he is not there for the Ravan's needs. Then it is like the breach of the duty. Baba has sent there for the task of Ram, not for Ravan's. Earlier it was mixed. Ravan was there and maybe Ram was also there, but the starting was Ravan. And that's what you heard in that passage, that sanskars change. If you have gone through this thought experiment, then you will notice the shift of sanskar. And this practice is an easy method for our efforts for the change. We'll get chance to discuss an experiment more on this tomorrow. But any other questions that are very happy to take the questions.
Yes. While every soul's experience of leaving the body might be different, is there a common experience of seeing light, meeting the Supreme, or feeling freedom and elation? What would one expect to experience?
If we go by the near-death experiences and the studies that are done, there is a pattern. It is not universal, but large majority of people who have near-death experiences, they speak of bliss and they speak of happiness, they speak of various things that we talk in knowledge. They speak along those lines, and that indicates that there may be these are near-death experiences, not necessarily the death experience. We don't know if the death experience is any different to the near-death experience, but we are getting the feel of it, and the insight into that. Very likely to be similar. Karma and our past, it will have some influence.
There is some research, if you like, those who've taken people through the death and then the subsequent birth experience. And I think the difference they say is that there's a point they can't go back, which of course with the near death they come back, they go through the light, and then something is severed. They say it's like there's something that still connects you to the body, but they go beyond that. But yeah, there's a lot out there, of course, needs verifying. So a couple of questions. Is it recommended to provide education to people on the natural process of the dying of the body, like the breathing and the change in the body color, things, details?
Now, as was said in our earlier discussion, the most important thing for us to know is approach life with a different intellect. Really understand this contrast between spin reactions and the life of the spin, the boy and his mother, and this kind of huge contrast that exists. That is exactly what is happening here. Everyone is behaving like spin. That can change if they use different intellect, if they see things differently. Education at that level, that is most precious. The details of how the death will happen, we don't know. And we can give some details, but how actually the final scene will come, we do not know. And beyond this moment, like physical death happens, the journey of the soul beyond this, it is 100% based upon his understanding, his intellect, his karma. And so the education at that level, that is what will be of immense value.
Helpful. Do we carry the old sanskaras, or the traits, habits after death? It's an interesting question, because in the passage read said that you don't, but maybe you could expand.
We have discussed in our earlier meetings the sketch like this. If you are to take a selfie of the soul, you might see a picture like this, or a picture like this, where there are lots and lots of false identities, different ego that are created. And so Iron Age picture is more like that, where there are many of these pictures. When these identities are the seed of certain set of sanskaras, each of these has its own pattern, and without removing this, we can't change the sanskaras, in other words. So when we die, this blueprint goes with us. Whatever the blueprint is, so external things don't go with me. Even the body doesn't go. But what goes with the soul is this inner blueprint. someone has brought about this change in him. Like a yogi, life is this. Yogi means you are nourishing this soul awareness within you with seriousness. That's why Baba tells me, create hours in this. So if someone creates that sort of time, nourishes the soul awareness, achieves this state, that is what will go with you. If that shift is 50%, that is what will go. And based on that are the sanskaras and everything else. Just the death doesn't erase sanskaras, but we need to make that yoga effort to change the sanskaras.
Thank you. That differentiation. So there aren't any questions right now, and we've almost come to time. So any final thoughts, and then we'll be having a drill from Madhavan.
You know, maybe the big area I want to underline, invisible incarnate. And understand that is like the eternal practice for us. If we are in this battle and we are here to win, then we need to know the crease. And the crease is only possible if we remind this moment, invisible incarnate is conscious and he understands the nature of the story and he is very clear why he's here. He is aware of the mission, why he is in this story world. Certainly the homework for us until tomorrow. Enjoy the transmission.
Yeah, thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. We just put the links for the recordings where they will be in the chat. So now a few minutes of Madhavan and a message from Baghdad. Om Shanti.
ड्रिल करने के लिए रेडी है कांधे लाओ रेडी अभी आप सभी भी बेफिक्र बादशाह सारा फिक्र का बोझ बाप दादा को अर्पण कर डबल लाइट के ताजदारी हूँ ताज तिलक और तखत ऐसी बाप अर्थात परमात्म प्यार